Hi, everybody. Okay, we are here for the August energy update. And with that, I've got a few little bits of information prior to sitting down here, one of which is showing flames, saying house of fire, seeing fire. And so I started thinking, well, it's Leo season, it's a fire sign, blah, blah, blah. But this is also what I'm getting now is this idea of where we are in the year. And as you know, they kind of give, I don't want to say necessarily a theme, sometimes a theme for the year, or for the month, but it is a continuous process that we're on. And remember, everything that, and I think you know this, everything that comes our way, even though it can feel really difficult, is all progress. All right? It's all progress. And even when we talk about the cosmic events happening and how we can feel just beaten down by a lot of that and the things that are happening, this is actually, they just said, God, they just said the word firestorm. So interesting. This now they're showing the sun. Okay, so there's a lot going on. We know that with the sun. Okay, let's get back to what I was gonna say. So essentially, what's happening here is this is more. They're trying to like juice or throwing like gasoline on the fire. What is that about? So we're in a height. Okay, we're just going to go into this. We're in a really heightened time right now. What they're talking about in August. Now, as we talked about in July, many of us were doing this kind of like trying to find our balance, assimilating since June, since the solstice. I've never seen a year where that was the biggest deal, right? So things are like everything's changing from the end of June. And I don't know what that everything means, but they're saying everything changes after the end of this last June with the solstice. It was an important solstice moving us forward. Okay, so we're starting to see dramatic shift and change. In July, just as a quick overview, we were seeing this idea of people assimilating and finding their balance after the solstice. And others were like moving along in their creations and their, what we call the creative expansion that is here for 2024, but really toward the end of this year, because we had to do the first 6 months so we could move into the rest of the year. And then 2025, 2026, which is going to be super important for the collective in this ascension journey. Super important. So with that, what they're showing now is we're coming out of July, moving into August. We have the 8-8 portal. Remember that Lion's Gate, fire sign, the whole bit. What I'm getting in August, and again, we're going to see if we can get any information on how this is like going to show up on the ground. But what I'm getting is firestorm, house of fire. They just said like rapid shift and change. Yeah, I just got huge chills. This is collectively, but it's also very much individually. But I'm getting let's just talk collectively here now. A lot of, they just keep saying rapid expansion. Okay, so things are going to start speeding up, which is why we've seen time collapse over these last years, where, you know, how you'll feel like, oh my gosh, like, we have 10 hours in a day now instead of 24, right? Okay, this is why. Okay, this is why, because it allows for rapid expansion. It's allowing for rapid expansion as we're moving through August. So, House of Fire, shift and change, massive move into September, which feels different right now, but August feels like we're on fire. We're on fire. We're on fire in many ways. We're on fire individually. Many of us are very much, we're going to go into this now, very much on fire individually as to what we are doing with our journey. Remember, it all is individual and rolls up to the collective. That's how we're going to have our change made, right? It can't happen without the individual inner journey that you all know about, right? If you're watching this video, you know you're going on the spiritual awakening journey, and it's an individual journey. And as every single person goes through this and we pull the others along, we have this collective expansion. What's happening right now? Okay, they're bringing in. Okay, I'm going to make a note because when I channel, I don't remember. Okay. So there is this collective expansion happening. Rapid fire, they just said rapid fire. Things are going to move fast. New things are coming our way. Those of us who are feeling like we're stagnant, or more like July, like, like something comes our way and then it pulls back. And then, or we feel one way and then we don't feel it. There's this rapid expansion to this next level that we're moving into, which is going to greater ease and grace, particularly for frontliners, is what I'm getting. Because remember, it's wave upon wave upon wave. So all of you kind of know where you're at in your journey, right? But those front wavers, First liners, the first wave. God, I can't talk today. The first wave is actually beating down that pathway for the rest to make the journey easier. Everybody has to go through their stuff though, but we who are the first wavers are really the ones that have just had to like plow through initially. That said, this is going to open up for, because we've been doing that, this is opening up for rapid expansion of the collective and the shift and change. We're going to see massive changes. We want to come back to that. The firestorm, though, it feels like it also may be literal. Okay, they just said in the house, firestorm in the house. Okay, hold on. This feels political. I mean, I know we got a lot going on there, right? But this is part of why this is happening. This massive expansion and shift and change and like smackdowns and having to like wake up to things we didn't anticipate, and there is going to be a lot of that. It's going to feel like kind of like lightning bolts shooting out of the collective, and we don't know where they're going, and you're kind of doing this kind of thing and you're hiding and wondering, but it's a collective energy, and so you're going to see a lot change. You're going to see a lot of things you didn't expect change either start to change in August or change in August. Like it feels like, and remember how I always said, remember, whatever I bring through doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen in that month. It may be the start of it. It may be some invisible thing. It may be something you feel, but I'm getting this expansive time, firestorm, fire, opportunity for rapid growth. Okay. Individually and collectively, we're going to see things knocked down. I think it's going to be we're going to see some of this in August. I mean, actually see it. Because things are ramping up. They're speeding up so fast. I didn't think I'd ever be saying this. I really seriously didn't think I'd be saying this because I thought we were on, this is, like human Carolyn thinking we're on just this trajectory where it'll take thousands of years, hundreds of years, more or less, to get there. I'm really changing my mindset on this now because of the information I'm receiving. And I think we see these things happening faster and faster. Now, a lot of people that aren't consciously aware of the awakening journey are on, I mean, everybody's on it, they're just not conscious, would say we're going backwards, right? We're going back. No, we're not. We're not. And I know we've said this over and over again, but I want you to understand that when we see whatever's going to show up in August or be a continuation, I just heard, of what is started in July, is the way forward. It is going to bring about things we, at first, will look at and go, oh, that can't be good. Because remember, we do that duality thing. That can't be good. And when in reality, it really is going to be. Now, what we've got is the firestorm happening. We've got, and we're going to talk a little bit more about some of that. But then we also have, interestingly, a big part of the collective of light workers, they're kind of under the radar, okay? Creating away from that firestorm, because remember, it's the vibration. I should be doing it like this. So you got your firestorm here, and the vibration of light workers that are creating is up here. We don't kind of hit that part too much. I mean, it can at times, but so kind of under the radar, we've got people who are creating the new way forward. That's going to continue, and that's going to really get some legs, I just said, in August for people. That might be in your individual pursuits, okay? Things you desire to be doing or bringing into your own journey, creating. I know some people creating businesses. There's going to be a huge launching of that. It seems like a lot of people are opening up themselves to supporting the rest of the collective on the way forward. And August is that time they're going to step their toe in, or they're going to open their doors for business. And I'm talking in the spiritual way, in a different way, in a very different way, using intuitive gifts. So we got a lot of that going on across the world. Okay, got a lot of that going on. Even in places you might not expect. It's all across the world. We are seeing this, all right? And it's going to look a little different everywhere. But this firestorm that we're getting now, House of Fire, I am getting politics, as we might know. And remember, I'm in the United States. So, and the reason I bring up United States politics is, oh my God, we affect the rest of the world like nobody's business, right? Whether we should or shouldn't is a whole other conversation, right? Anyway, point is, we do. So this House of Fire is a big deal. And it's not going to be what we think it's going to be. I don't know what that means. I just heard that. It's not going to be what we think it's going to be. And then leading into the rest of the year is, we're going to leave it at that. The firestorm right now, I don't know what the fire is going to look like as we move forward, but we're going to think one thing is going to be happening and then another's going to happen instead. Or a combination, or just, it's literally a crapshoot is what they just said. It's a crapshoot. It's kind of like everything's been thrown up in the air since solstice. And in July, it was more of like an individual recalibration kind of thing. and assimilating to those energies, but then that's a collective thing too, right? And so then things started to pop. This is another word I was getting, pop. Things are starting to pop. So that's that firestorm, right? You use a lot of different metaphors. And we're going to see that in the collective. We're going to see that in our individual journeys. Some of us right now may be feeling like back and forth, kind of like I said, of like, I don't know where I'm going next. I don't know what the next step is. Or I feel stagnant after all that change. Well, that means you got change coming. Like it's coming. Something's coming. I don't know when, right? But oftentimes we will have that July, like I said, time frame for a while. But the firestorm is coming in August, starting, okay? With many of us actually like building the new way forward, building the new way forward. Now, here's the other thing I'm getting while we have the firestorm over here. But I'm also getting firestorm with fires, okay? We've talked a lot about water in the last, I want to say year, and we have seen a lot of water events. But I'm getting now, I don't want to say it's a shift, but I've said before, it's almost pointless talking about earth stuff, right? Like the fires and the water and all that, because it's going to happen. But I'm still going to do it when I'm called to do it. But I am getting firestorm, fires, heat. It could show up as heat. I think we're seeing some of that, and I'm sorry I don't keep good track, but there's heat moving through firestorms parts of the world. And see, that's a metaphor too, heating up. Things are heating up. And so the earth is heating up too. And so what we're getting here is this idea of a metaphor, but actual reality in the collective. And the expansion that we're having, but we're going to see August in many ways. They just keep showing me flames and fire, house of fire. Now that, remember, those of you who might not have been listening to me before, it doesn't mean your house is going to burn down. That's not what we're talking about here. This is not a one-to-one correspondence to what's happening in your life, all right? This is mostly metaphor, but then turns into some kind of idea of a firestorm, all right? What does that look like in the collective? So just so you know that. Okay, the other thing that I was getting, and this is really interesting, to support this journey forward in this new earth, there's a lot going on, right? So we got the firestorm idea, shift and change. We're going to see this. We're not going to know what to expect. You kind of sit back and get your popcorn and watch the movie idea, right? Because it's going to be really interesting is what I get. I can't wait to see what happens. That means I'm going to need to keep track of what's going on out there if I really want to know. Anyway, okay, so the other part of this, they're very much bringing this in, which they have not done this before, is, and this has to do with what we'll call disclosure. This has to do with understanding that we are shifting in our frequency, vibration, and dimension, and we're starting to see other things that are there that we haven't, as with our 3D eyes, been able to see. But here's the thing. They have set us up to be able to start to more fully understand this. Now, most of you are going to know this, but what I'm getting that's very important right now is these pieces of things that are happening in the collective, and I'm just going to give you some TV shows, and they brought these to me. Now, I'm a fan of these, but things that are popping in out there that help people wake up to this idea or solidify their own understanding. Because remember, this whole idea of, seeing, UFOs or aerial phenomena that is, unbelievable. A lot of people have kept it to themselves over time and their experiences. Well, now what's happening, and okay, they just said the word scientific proof. So what's happening is there's a lot going out on in the collective that's being presented to the collective in ways that is, they just said palpable, okay? Through science, through helping people understand this is real and true through measurable ways, all right? There are shows, there are TV shows on. Skinwalker Ranch is probably the best one that comes to mind. Okay, so remember, we may all think, oh, that's just a show, that's just one thing, but it's a cog in the bigger wheel, okay? It's a cog in the mechanics of this. It's these little things that you see out there, and if you're a big picture person and you start really putting on your, your intuitive glasses, you're going to see all this. this rolls up into helping people understand and open up to the idea. Because remember, all of this is already well known within certain communities, as we know. And now it's unavoidable. I just heard unavoidable, and the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking. In fact, we're behind this idea of letting the public know what's out there and what is real and what is true, and to be able to open that door. But what we're doing is they're talking about across the world in a very collective scientific way. Again, they keep saying palpable, like, maybe those that have their heads stuck in the sand, or that need validation for their own experiences. That's here. These pieces of the puzzle it's all coming together. And what they're showing is in this next year. Okay, are we talking year? Next couple of years. Oh, magnifying. They're talking about magnifying. It's going to magnify. This is why they've got these things in place. Whether it's TV shows, whatever it is. Something online, on YouTube, whatever it is, right? These pieces are way out here now. They're creating that framework of disclosure, of understanding. But what's happening is it's coming in closer and closer and closer now, right? Like we're framing. Oh, another good one. Oak Island. This is on the History Channel, okay? But so you may think, well, what's that got to do with anything? That's a treasure hunt. And no. It's part of this journey. It's part of this journey, okay? It's part of the mystical, magical things that we don't understand and the stories we've been told, and breaking out of those stories, but also validating some of the stories that we've had. And when I talk about stories, I'm talking about, you can talk about like biblical stories, okay? Like history that has been rewritten to make it sound okay. And the Bible's the first one I'm going to throw at you. There are many others, but the point is what we're doing is we're now starting to validate some of those things in scientific ways, and we're also starting to rewrite the story. Okay, this is huge. This is a big deal. Don't ask me why they're talking about this for August. But anyway, point is it's a big deal. It feels a little bit like there's been a movement, and there's a lot of people out there putting those pieces together. So if you can, as a light worker, step back, look at the big picture, and go, oh wow, yeah, that's a cog in the wheel. Oh yeah. And then when it all starts moving, it starts becoming this idea of this is the other thing that I'm getting. I'm sorry, didn't finish that thought. But the other thing I'm getting is they've given me this information of this idea of, I'll just call it disclosure because most people understand what that means with respect to understanding that there's more than just us on Earth, right? And I'm not talking just out there. I'm talking here on Earth, in Earth, all right? All the realms. So what's occurring here is, as many of you may know, is our governments, those that know, are in the background. They're not going to be the ones to offer this to us. It's through movies. It's through little bits and pieces. Now, many of you know this already, but it's coming together, okay? Little bits and pieces here and there, little breadcrumbs. That's what they just said, breadcrumbs, to take people down that trail of understanding. Now, we're going to have to be aware, too, that during that time I just heard false faces, but we're going to know. Okay, we're going to know. This is this idea of being able to collectively understand, because we're behind, is what I keep getting behind. This was supposed to be, this is, yes, I know we're in the Aquarian age, or starting of that, but the point in this idea, what I'm getting is galactically, we're behind in the sense of rising to the part, or coming to the party in that sense. And there is I didn't know this was going to go here. There's pressure. There's pressure. There's pressure on, they just said the world powers to get the story straight. Get the story straight. Because what's going to happen is the presence is going to be made known now it's not, and I want you to understand this, and I've said this before, it's not, oh my God, one big spaceship is going to show up, everybody's going to walk out their door and go, oh my God, and the whole world's going to come together and go, here we are. No, it's not like that. But the presence known is going to be through the individual, whether it's intuitive gifts opening up, the awakening, all of that, and beings helping those individuals understand, okay? So there's going to be a lot of that. But there's also this collective story that we're rewriting. I keep getting rewriting because we're telling the truth. Well, just remember, we have those that don't want to tell the truth. But here's what I'm very much getting is the pressure is on to take the lid off and let the steam out. Okay, so we've got a lot of metaphor here today. So I wonder if the firestorm, the fire, all of that has to do with this too. Why are they showing this in August? This is a continuing thing, but there's a lot going on in August. So the portal, 8-8 Lionsgate, is massive. Okay, this is kind of that firestorm-like entry is what I keep seeing. I'm seeing a portal. It is a portal entry. Lionsgate is always big. And here's the thing, as I've said this before, and every year they never care, at least with me, like January 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, until we get to 8, 8. It's really interesting. And then they'll talk about, most often, the Lionsgate portal, and they'll move through the rest of the year. 10, 10, 9, 9, 10, 10, 11, 11, mostly 11, 11, and 12, 12, and 8, 8. Go figure. I have no idea why. But anyway, the last part of the year is always feels like those portals are more significant. And again, we can argue, well, there's no time, and blah, 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 why does it matter? I don't know. I don't know. But that's just what they're showing. They've always shown that to me. Okay, so, all right, let's just see, what do we want to do now? I guess I'm going to ask if we can get, okay, they just said, keep doing your own work in the way that you want your life to unfold and what you wish to be. This is critical. I mean, it's really important because we want to keep rising with this, right? And they do talk they're talking a lot about get your popcorn, sit back and watch the show. But that doesn't mean don't do anything in your own journey. That means be aware of what's going on and going, oh, okay, and observe. Don't get, and I don't think you will because you're here, you're awakening. Most of you understand this journey. Don't get freaked out by what you see out there because I do get like this. It feels like August is going to be I can't wait to see what we see occur, whether it's earth events, whether it's people events, which I do get a lot of, like choices made, decisions made, things we thought were going to be aren't going to be. We're already seeing maybe a little bit of that. And the political spectrum is going to heat up. I just heard, God, a lot of heat, a lot of fire. That makes sense. We do have an election here in the United States in November, but it's more than that. Okay, it's more than that. There's going to have to be decisions made across the worldwide by leaders. Things are going to have to stop and start. Okay, so new ways forward is what I keep getting. This cannot continue. They're bringing in war. I don't know. Like, this may take a long time for us to see, but I'm just getting, there's putting a stop to a lot of things. Guys, remember, this year's bigger than, honestly, any year since I've been doing this work. Because this hard stop in June, the shut the door in June, which we saw in our own individual personal lives, or we're seeing, remember, it's not all everybody at the same time. This is this hard stop. And there's a lot of, no, we're not doing this anymore. We're not doing war anymore. We're not doing, now, we all may look out there and go, oh yeah, right? Well, remember, that's how that works. Okay, so we're seeing out a ways, but we're seeing the nuggets of this happening. The nuggets of this ending. I keep getting the ending. I just got pulling out, pulling back, pulling. Okay, they just... this would be great if this would happen. I'm getting war money being repurposed. I think we're setting the stage for these kinds of things. I'm not sure we're going to see... That'd be a huge change, right? There's something going on. There's a wave across the world. And we're starting to see that wave happen. Last time, I think I mentioned, and again, I never remember my channels unless I go back and listen to them again, that I do remember this. When I looked at the world, I kept seeing Africa. Like holding its own and being the, I just heard heartbeat. And I'm not talking about chakras. I don't know what that means, but heartbeat of, they're showing it again, of the way forward. Africa looks very big. Now, I know we got a lot of countries in Africa that are doing their own thing, but there's something about the land there. And there's some purpose in it being, I'll just say, kind of in between North and South America and Europe and Asia. I don't know, but there's something about Africa bringing the wave, and maybe it's through ley lines, maybe it's the earth energy. I don't know, but I think it's going to play out in humankind, bringing. They just said peaceable ways, peaceable ways. The kernels of that. Okay, starting new growth. It's like seeds are being planted. Boy, some of you might know more, some things that are happening that make sense with these metaphors and with what we're getting as visions. Because remember, I get big picture stuff. Sometimes I'll get detail, but we get a lot of metaphors. And the thing is, timing is always a little, I don't want to say sketchy, but it's not always, well, like I've said before, it's like the energy, I see the energy now starting, and it may come to fruition months down the road. I don't know, or maybe years. But the point is I think we're going to see some things in August. We usually see something. If you're aware, you're going to see something that fits into some of this. Okay, so personally, what we want to get at here is a little bit of information for you. Okay, they said travel your journey. See in front of you what your desires and inspirations are and follow them. They said they're closer to you than you know. Okay, they said many of you. Okay, this is interesting. They said many of you kind of are, I'll just say, sitting on the sidelines wishing to do certain things, feeling still constrained by, the way things are, but more importantly, the way your journey currently is. It feels like some of you out there are wanting to participate in a different way, but may not understand how to do it within the framework of your own life. But they're saying there's a way, and that their support is even greater now than ever before. So they're very much talking about, and this is about letting that flow go. Put that intention out there and let that flow go. But remember, again, we do have to do the acts behind it, but we have to do it when it feels right? It's not this old forcible way of how we've worked, and we still work oftentimes. It is allowing that intention to be put out there, that passion, desire, whatever it is, to be put out there. And then see it, and then move toward it in the way that feels right for you. So here's kind of a way to look at it. Let's just pick anything. Forget whether it's spiritual or whatever, right? But it's something you are desirous of to make your life more whole, I'll just say. It's about having that intention and then not putting hard energy into like a linear way of having to do something blah, 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 a certain way. And yes, we still use those tools, but this is about flow. This is about if you wake up one day and you feel like you want to do something toward that, or you just feel moved to do a thing, that may be part of the thing, you may not even know it, is going to help your way forward. So we got to just feel into what we want to do each day. Now, I know most of us have jobs we have to go to, right? And that doesn't feel that way. But point is, because you may have something else you aspire to, or you may be doing it right now, right? You may be doing the thing you want to be doing and you are contributing, to the collective with. But the point is to be able to, we're more and more now in this idea of just allowing, flowing, and letting go, stepping back. This is so important, okay? And just let that divine flow come in. Let that come in. And of course, as we know, we set ourselves up for that through multiple ways, primarily meditation, I will tell you that, okay? Regular practices of self-care. All the things we talk about, right? And if you guys need another video on all that, let me know, but I don't think you do. But the point is, and because I do have videos out there on that, but the point is meditation is really critical, being able to step back, allow, let it be, let it come to you, let it flow. You're going to know, okay? It's not this old way of working. Now, you might be able to get there, but it's not going to be pretty at all. It's going to be hard. It's going to be, it could be taxing on you and your body and your mind and your soul. That's not the way we do things anymore, all right? We're in this new era. We are stepping into this new era. Now, yes, we get pulled back into that lots of times, right? It's kind of this blend. Right now, you got to find your way forward. So there are a lot of you out there okay, this is interesting. There are a lot of you out there that, this is so funny. They just said, need a little kick in the cheeks, okay? So, and really are wanting to do the thing, but there's something about like, a little bit of maybe lack of faith and trust, lack of feeling like you don't have the resources, lack of feeling supported. You're supported by those who you need to be supported by. It will all work out. Okay, so if you have something you want to do and create, and you've been desiring that for some time, just know you're in the environment now where this is happening. Okay, this is happening. And yes, we have times of rest. Yes, we have times of feeling like, what the heck is happening? Nothing is happening. Yeah, we need that because guess what? Something's going to change down the road. All right, so just keep that in mind. Let's see if we want to talk about anything else. Wow, I think I'm going to really try to keep a listen to what's going on out there to see if we've got anything that kind of lines up with what we're talking about. But keep in mind, Lionsgate, what I would do, let's see if we got any special information for Lionsgate for you individually. They just said light the fire. Oh, okay. So you could do this if you have something that you're wanting to create, grow upon, make more of, build upon, and you're feeling like in that space, what they're showing is use the fire and the flame. So like, I don't know, I'm making this up. You can find your own way to do this, but like, write your intention, have a little ceremony on the portal date. Write down what you want to see as your growth and burn it in the Lionsgate portal. They're saying you could use the fire theme, very much so, and then just let it go to the wind. That's the idea, right? So you're burning it, letting it go to the wind. You have your intention, and just let it go. Let it go. All right? And then you'll be guided to work toward it as you want to, as you need to. Lots of times we do this thing of, oh, I have this idea, now I got to make it happen and I got to get it all done by a certain date. No, I have seen more people flow as it's meant to. And it's lots of times, if you look at it from a linear perspective, it looks like people are going backwards or they're not doing any of their journey. Nope, that's not what happens. That's not what happens. So just flow with it and go with it. Flow with it and go with it. I love that. All right, anything else? I think that's what we're going to leave with. But as we are leaving today, they are very much showing the firestorm. Remember, it doesn't mean don't just take it literally. It's actually a really good thing. It's burning away the old. Okay, it's burning away the old in whatever way that shows up. It's also offering opportunity. Fire offers opportunity. Think about that, the seeds of new growth, and also burning down things that no longer serve us. Okay, so do something if you want on Lionsgate, 8/8 portal, August 8th, and see how that goes for you. And then, of course, I always love to hear what you know, because I don't listen to anybody else, right? It's fun to have you guys comment on what you know, what information you've received, because, I'm not the only one that does this. You guys have your own information too, so I would love to hear from you if you'd like to share, and other people would too. This is how we learn, right? So with that today, I'm going to remind you, particularly for those of you who don't know me, I'm Carolyn Zaiser. I channel, I'm a distance energy healer, and most particularly, I'm a spiritual awakening and ascension mentor. And I help you through this massive journey that you're on, where we uncover a lot of things from past, help you with present, and then discuss potential future that will help assist you in your current lifetime and moving forward and having a broader, bigger perspective. So I would love to work with you. If you're interested in learning more about my services, I do offer a 15-minute complimentary consultation where we can discuss your needs, and then you can decide if you want to work with me. And you can also visit purplerainhealing.com and see all of my services and reach out to me from there. All right, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like I always say, take what resonates, toss the rest aside. I hope to hear from you, and I will see you in the next video.